Well, this time of year, there's a lot of promposals, and that's like a big deal.
That is the latest trend. I think the promposal is putting the marriage proposal to shame.
They are more elaborate, more thought out, more difficult to do than a wedding proposal.
We're talking things like up on jumbotrons. People are jumping out of planes. They're having
wow,
seriously.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Thank goodness I'm past that because I didn't even have to do the proposal wedding thing.
That's right.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
goodness.
That's right.
You're not big on proposing, are you?
I'm just like, you want to? I don't know. Yeah.
All right. It's cool. It's cool. Put the ring on. Get our official attorney, Lisa Lanier, on Man Kisser Man. I think we're going to need her.
Because this promposal went south.
Uh-oh.
It was what the student is claiming today, claiming that it was a joke and that he didn't mean any harm.
And I would say if you have young kids in the car, you might want to turn down your radio.
For sure.
It's adult content.
Because it might be the most racist prom proposal of all time.
What? What did it say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and say
Yeah, go ahead.
hold on. I need to look at
Oh,
it.
man.
Just you make sure you get it 100%
I got to
right.
get it 100% right. The sign says, if I were black, I'd be picking cotton, but I'm not. I'm white, so now I'm picking you
Nope.
for prom.
That is
terrible.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
Terrible. It's
That's
the worst thing
That
I've
is terrible.
ever
But-
seen.
I mean, out of all times
Right.
in the nation, with all this, that's like the worst you could possibly do.
No kidding.
and think that it's not going to just even think that way
Who
is
thinks that?
stupid.
to
Right.
think that it's right, and then you think it's so right that you put it on a sign, and then you think other people are going to think it's funny. The reason that I just said but is because people are saying free speech.
Well, I mean, it is free speech, but it's certainly that person's not very likable.
No, and then I guess there could be consequences as far as like, do you get punished at school, or if you did that at work, I guess you could get fired.
Well, yeah, free speech when you're 18 on your own, not when you're in public schools or
Right.
or
Yeah.
or if you're at a company and you did that, your company should be able to fire you, I think.
Yep, this is a kid in high school, and again, he said, if I was black, I'd be picking cotton,
It's terrible.
but I'm white, so I'm picking you for prom.
I hope the girl said no.
And let me be clear. Where do these people come from? I don't know one
I don't
person
either.
I hang out with
I
that
don't
would
either.
ever write
Nope.
that or think that way.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that to represent how I don't think most people would ever feel that
I
way.
agree. I don't know one person who would do this, and I do have to tell you, as part of the story, the 18-year-old has apologized. His parents have apologized.
Did his parents not see the sign before it went out?
I don't know, but
Maybe
the
not,
fact
maybe
that
not.
he did it in the first place, it can't be unseen. You know
no,
what I mean?
and it took time
Right.
because it's
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 stenciled
it's
out.
stenciled out. It wasn't like he just said it and like,
No.
oh, that was bad.
He made a poster and it stenciled it out and
took it out
you
in public.
took a picture, and it's just like I don't know. I don't get it.
We do have our official attorney, Lisa Lanier, on the phone. Good morning, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, this is terrible prom proposal for
Yeah.
sure, and it's an interesting area of the law because it is it's clear, and the cases have been in place for decades that say schools can regulate student speech on campus under certain circumstances. There is limited free speech on campus. The Tinker case from the 1960s is the famous case about the girl who wore the Vietnam war protest armband, and she was suspended and punished. And she filed a lawsuit, and it went all the way. She was 13 years old. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said what she did was protected speech, and the key was whether or not her speech was disruptive. And what they found was that her wearing that armband was in no way disruptive. And so that's been the standard for years. But now what we're starting to see is these cases come about where the speech occurs off campus, like on Facebook or on Twitter or like this. And those cases have actually been kind of all over the map in terms of the decisions that have come down about whether or not those students can be disciplined for off-campus speech. But the school system has said they're going to discipline this kid, and they said the reason is because the standard of the disruptive piece of it, his speech has caused such a national commotion that it has disrupted classes and things at school. And so what a lot of the circuits are saying is if the kid's off-campus speech is reasonably foreseeable to be disruptive on campus, then he can be punished. So I think ultimately under the current standards, he probably can be disciplined, and he would probably lose if he fights it.
I can see that. I know when I helped coach Western Guilford basketball, the varsity team a few years back, the coaches were really big on, although your Twitter page is yours, college coaches are looking at you because there's some people that are being recruited,
Yep.
and they see the N-word on. I mean, this was for white and African-American players. I said, they see the N-word on there. Are you talking about smoking weed? I said, first of all, don't say that or do that, but you're putting it on there. Even if you're joking, it can cost you a college scholarship.
Well, we
You have the
say-
right to say it, but the
absolutely.
consequences are there.
Because that's a college's decision. I wonder if there's more way with a public school over a private school.
don't know.
Does the public school have more say?
Well, there's also an interesting standard about a college versus a high school because you start to see a different standard there. In colleges, because you are admitted to the college, when you are admitted to the college, you agree to submit to a certain code of conduct.
Oh,
Sure.
right.
And usually hate speech is prohibited in that code of conduct, or speech that infringes on the rights of others, or that sort of thing. And so, this being hate speech, if this was a college kid, absolutely the college could kick him out. High school, this is a little bit different, and that's where you said those colleges are looking at those kids and looking at their accounts. Public school high schoolers, when their speech is just pure speech and it's not disruptive to the school, then usually they're okay.
And I'm sure you may have seen the story, Lisa, our official attorney of Jared and Katie in the Morning. There's a professor in California.
Oh, yeah.
And we're big proponents of free speech. We do this for a living, and we want to be able to say and think and do what we want. Certainly, you can't say anything. There are consequences in life, though.
You should be, in my opinion, you should be able to say what you want to say and not be persecuted by the law necessarily, but there's consequences
With your job
with
and-
your job or the organizations you believe in or the people that surround you.
Well, we live by that. Things
Sure.
that we know that things we post on our Facebook page or our Twitter or Instagram, our employers are going to see that. We're friends with them.
Right,
You
yeah.
can't. There's no hiding it.
Right.
So you have to be mindful of that.
There's a college. You're exactly right, Kate. There's a college professor who, the day after Barbara Bush passed away,
Right.
basically said that she was glad that she was dead. She was a racist. She raised warmongers and things of that nature. And then it's like, and you can't do nothing about it because I'm a tenured professor. And so the college, apologized for what she said, but said they're not going to penalize her any further. But I don't know, how's that work? Because if the students
true.
could be let go, what about professors?
And the tenure thing probably has something to do with it. But my thought is after seeing her speak the way she came across to me, I was like, I would not want that as a teacher for my kids or for me. Just the way she came across on other things.
Right.
But so this college probably is embarrassed by her, but yet they keep her. What kind of image is that for the college?
It seems disruptive.
Why can't they get rid of her if they wanted to?
Well, if her speech was disruptive, then I think that they could. Although you're right that when a professor is tenured, it's a little bit harder to get rid of them, and so there's that kind of due process that person would be entitled to. But it is when it's disruptive, it is generally held regardless of who said it. If it's disruptive and it's in an education setting, then usually the school can act for the best interest of the university or for the high school to end that disruptive behavior permanently.
But the college didn't do anything. And it made national news, and it seemed like it was certainly disruptive. I mean, it seemed like it was disruptive to the whole country and in poor taste when somebody just died. I would imagine on the campus it was totally all over the place, but nothing really happened because of the tenure. Would you say?
I do think that that's probably part of their reasoning, but also they may take a more free speech, kind of pro-free speech stance. Just it's their choice. It's the college's choice. There's not when there's an option to discipline someone, they're not required to do it. And so they maybe looked at the fact that it was a tenured professor, and maybe also looked at what their values are with regard to free speech, and they wanted to promote that.
And look, I support her right, the professor, to say it, although I find it disgusting and offensive,
Disrespectful.
especially to someone who just passed away. But she has the right to say it.
Well, she has the right to say
That
it,
doesn't
but
mean people aren't going to be outraged.
No,
by it. Yeah.
I was outraged
Yeah,
by it,
yeah.
but I don't want to say, she should be
Yeah, I
persecuted
agree.
by the
No,
law
I don't
or
think
prosecuted by
I
the law.
never think anybody should be persecuted by the law unless you actually did
Broke the
something
law.
criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you have to be prepared for consequences.
absolutely.
And any situation.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I agree.
All right, official attorney of Jared and Katie in the Morning. She tackles all the subjects from the silly stories we have to the very complex.
On the spot.
Lisa Lanier, if you're ever injured on the job, contact her right away. 1-888-CONSULT. She has offices all over the state of North Carolina, or simply go to 1075kzl.com.